Thank you, Britta. Professor von Braun, Your Highness Queen Sylvia, Your Majesty, esteemed colleagues, I'm addressing you today as a CEO of Alana Foundation, as you said, a Brazil-rooted global organization proudly celebrating 30 years of our mission to honor children. Through our national and international advocacy, we have developed legal policies for systemic change, movies to transform minds and hearts, and research to advance science that protects and promotes children's rights, including the digital environment, like the recent Brazilian Resolution 245 on children and the digital environment, as well as the Netflix documentary and series The Beginning of Life 1 and 2. Baroness Joanna, let's talk more about the importance of narrative change through movies. We like to say that we usually hide the broccoli and the popcorn to convey different messages. Our efforts on digital rights focus on safeguarding privacy and personal data, guaranteeing a childhood free from digital commercial exploitation, fostering critical emancipating media literacy, and bridging the digital divide. Following the insightful discussions at this summit yesterday, today I will focus on three interconnected topics. First, the need to transform the prevailing business model from one that commercially exploits children to one that embeds children's rights by design. Second, the disproportionate impact of AI-driven commercial practices on vulnerable groups, especially children from the Global South and those with disabilities. And third, the imperative to develop a unified, positive vision and narrative in which AI nurtures affective care, well-being, and the whole development of children, their families, and their communities. Let us begin by examining the business and AI models that shape our digital world. Today's standard sees companies employing massive data extraction techniques and capturing children's attention, experiences, and interactions for commercial gain, not just to license or subscribe to services, but especially for micro-target marketing and advertising. This approach prioritizes commercial interests over protection, depriving children of embodied experiences free from commercial pressures and consumeristic values. Moreover, through public procurements, isn't Leander? We talked yesterday about that, particularly in AI-powered ad tech or tech used inside schools, companies often reach public funds without sharing the benefits and profits afterwards with the community to solutions that lack scientific evidence and fail to deliver through educational outcomes, serving instead as a strategy to harvest even more data from students, as showed in a compelling Human Rights Watch report recently. This model is already in conflict with existing laws, including international ones. We must emphasize that every corporation has an inherent duty to prioritize the protection, rights, and development of children. We already have a strong legal framework and grammar of children's rights for that. Article 3 of the Convention on the Rights of the Child mandates that private actors, including companies, fulfill this obligation as detailed in General Comment 16 and further reinforced in General Comment 25 on digital matters. Legally, this is for my fellow lawyers here like Cecile, this is known as the horizontal direct effect on children's rights, which obligates also a private entity to respect and uphold their rights. And yes, as we were talking earlier, although the United States is the only country that has not ratified the CRC, and I'm sorry here for my US colleagues, its big tech companies maintain offices in nearly every country, which means the duties of the CRC remain applicable to US-founded corporations. This leads us to the second theme, the profound unique effects on these models on the most vulnerable. The digital divide is not only measured in terms of access, but also in the quality of protection afforded to children. For instance, while 75% of the world's children reside in the Global South, they are exposed to even more greater predatory data practices that could mirror a form of data colonialism. Due to their massive processing and extraction capabilities, big tech companies, typically based in the Global North, wield immense power to maintain highly effective lobbying structures to safeguard their interests, thereby preventing these countries from achieving the same regulatory pace as European countries and the European Union. Yesterday, I mentioned that as well, and it's concerning how we've come to normalize protecting only our children while leaving other people's children in peril, thereby enabling double standards among the same national companies. Moreover, children with disabilities, over 240 million children, are frequently the last to benefit from technological advances. They remain disproportionately excluded from digital innovation, facing greater threats to their integrity, privacy, and mental health due to algorithms that lack sensitivity to their needs. Yet, we are not without hope, as Mariana noted yesterday. Our vision for a digital future rests on the belief that technology should serve nature, including human nature and its childhood, rather than exploit it. We must champion a nature-centered AI. Imagine AI systems designed with deliberate care, capable of overcoming social and economic barriers, addressing climate and environmental crises, and acting as a steadfast allies against all forms of violence toward children, including sexual abuse and exploitation. Consider the transformative potential of tools that decisively include children with disabilities in regular schools and in all areas of society. Systems that empower nonverbal children with speech and communication skills, adaptive learning technologies tailored to every learner's unique needs, but also community interpersonal relationships, real-time captioning and translation that break down language barriers in classrooms. These innovations are not distant dreams, but achievable realities when we design our digital systems with children's rights at the very core of their architecture. Let us focus on the outcomes that align with the shared vision set forth in the Convention of the Rights of the Child. Again, we already have the grammar on children's rights. We often emphasize media literacy, but what is truly needed is widespread literacy in children's rights and development among businesses and government decision makers. It took centuries to reach this consensus in this vision with the Convention on the Rights of the Child. In pursuit of this vision, we must create collaborative spaces, such as the symposium and the hackathon that we did with Stanford University last December, that bring together programmers, researchers, educators, businesses, families, and children to explore AI's transformative potential. These forums demonstrate that when innovation is treated as a common good and guided by community-led, co-design principles with an unwavering commitment to inclusivity, that outcomes are both equitable and profoundly enriching. We'll soon release a white paper on our takeaways and toolkit for those interested in organizing their own hackathons. But in short, investing in inclusive, co-designed AI solutions that adapt to diverse learning styles, ensure equitable access, promoting personal interactions, and protect data privacy is essential for fostering development for every learner. Christopher, I totally agree with you that AI is our mirror, but we also could mirror the good and the consensus on children's rights that we already have. Let us therefore commit to reimagining our digital space, reclaiming a dream where AI is an integral part of our social, political, and economic model of care. An algo-ethical, as Pope Francis said, grounded in a universally accepted children's rights. Notably, Pope Francis himself has announced that he will issue a new apostolic exhortation for the protection of children and their rights, a call that could serve to remind us of this shared vision. Every child deserves a digital world and AI built for them, not against them, including with the right to disconnect online to connect with nature outside. The present and the future we envision, including for AI, is one where all children are protected, free and safe, empowered to be who they are and to pursue the dreams they hold dear. Thank you.